Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're exploring the stories behind some of the most haunted places in the world, from the Wolfman to vampires, werewolves, ghosts and demons. Each place is steeped in history, legend and lore. You may know the legends that have sprung from these locations, but what really happened here? Let's find out. First, we have to look at the grand opening of Grand Hotel Europe in St. Petersburg, Russia. This was back in 1875 when it opened its doors to the public for the first time. It was an instant hit with wealthy travelers booking rooms as they passed through the city. For decades, the hotel thrived, hosting all manner of parties, events, and meetings. But one night in the early 1920s, everything changed forever. One evening, a fire broke out in the basement of the hotel. No one really knows how it started, but it spread quickly throughout the building. Guests and staff alike began to flee for the exits, but many found themselves trapped. As the fire raged, people desperately ran for the hills or jumped from windows. The fire engines soon arrived, but they were too late. By then, the fire was too intense and they couldn't save everyone. It's believed that up to 40 people lost their lives that night, burned to death or falling to their deaths trying to escape. And since then, it's said that the spirits of those who died are now haunting the hotel. Some say they can feel the heat of the fire even to this day, while others claim to hear the screams of those who perished. Is there any truth to these claims? Well, the fire itself is well documented. There are newspaper clippings and official reports that tell the story. But what's not known is how many people actually died. Estimates vary wildly, with some saying only a handful and others claiming up to 40 or more. In terms of the hauntings though, well, that's a different story. There are no official accounts or investigations into paranormal activity at the hotel. Instead, these stories are likely nothing more than urban legends that have sprung up over the years. After all, it's not unusual to hear about hauntings in old buildings like this, especially in places like Russia where superstition and folklore play a big part in culture. That being said, it is also important to remember that just because something is undocumented or investigated doesn't mean it didn't happen. There are plenty of cases of hauntings that have been witnessed but never recorded or explained by experts. So while we can't say for sure if the Grand Hotel Europe is haunted, we can't rule it out either. But that's not the only place where tragedy struck and left a haunting legacy. We now travel to the town of Telemark in Norway. Here, a school and a museum are forever linked to one tragic event. Back in 1936, the town was shaken by the news that two young girls had gone missing. Their names were Synnøve Solheim and Esther Gjerd, both aged just 7 years old. They'd been playing together near the river when they vanished without a trace. A massive search effort was launched, but it soon turned up nothing. The case remained unsolved for decades, leaving the families and friends of the girls with more questions than answers. Then in 1989, a breakthrough finally came. Construction workers were digging a foundation for a new building when they uncovered a lead pipe, and inside it was a small box containing 2 gold sovereigns. Further investigation revealed that the coins were from the year 1936, the same year the girls had gone missing. With this new evidence, police were able to open a new investigation into the case, and in 1991, they made an even more shocking discovery. While excavating a site close to where the girls had been playing, they found a small chamber buried underground. Inside, they found 2 bodies which were later identified as Cinti and Esther. But how did they get there? Well, it seems that the girls had been playing near the riverbank when they fell into a hole. It was then filled in by sand and dirt, entombing them alive. This grim discovery understandably shook the town, and it led to calls for the area to be properly investigated. But it wasn't all that straightforward. See, the area in question is now occupied by a school and a museum, and moving or demolishing these buildings would be a huge undertaking. Plus, there were concerns that any construction work could disturb the girls' remains, which are still buried there. In the end, it was decided that the best course of action was to leave the girls where they were, and to honor their memory. A memorial stone was erected near the school, but some say that the girls' spirits are still lingering nearby. Some claim to have seen their ghosts or heard them playing. Others say that they feel a cold spot whenever they visit the memorial. While we can't say for sure if the girls' spirits are haunting the area, we can understand why people believe they might be. After all, this was a tragic and untimely death for 2 young children, and it's natural to want to remember them and pay tribute to their memory. These stories go to show that hauntings can happen anywhere, anytime. They don't always need to be in old buildings or on old battlefields. Sometimes all it takes is a tragic event and a few lingering spirits. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the haunted hotel of Telemark and the ghost of Synnøve Solheim and Esther Gjerd. Which story did you think was the most fascinating? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn about more haunted places, check out the other videos in this series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.